This is Chris Dehan with Sports Mike Radio, and this morning I'm here with Erik Soliday, head football coach at Perry High School. Coach Soliday came in roughly at the end of May, early June, missed out on spring practice, took the job a little bit late after Stacy Harden resigned. Coach Soliday, how have you caught up, I guess, after missing out on spring practice?
Well, it's always tough when you miss spring, and that's a really good chance to implement stuff. And really the whole off season, starting in January and February, you miss a lot of time in the weight room and just on your skills. But we've had to do a lot of things where we've just went back to the basics and spent a lot of time on drill work, drilling those particular things, and you don't get to expand the playbook quite as much as you would like to, and maybe by the end of the season, you can get as deep in as you'd like to, but you're going to have to be pretty basic at the beginning and work all the things that are basic to your offense and defense, because you get a little bit behind, you don't get a chance to work a lot of those things.
But at the same time, going back to basics, especially when you're new to a program, that kind of gives you the baseline evaluation necessary for your players. Is that accurate?
Oh, yeah, well, that's, everybody's on an even keel. When we come in, we didn't really know anybody, so everybody had a fair shot at getting a position because, I didn't know any of them. So all they had to do was show me they could play a little bit, which was, good for the kids and good for us as well. And and having to go back to the basics and doing all those things, you really see where those kids are starting from, and you get to see where they're getting to, and you kind of get to see what kind of potential they may have on how fast they pick things up and how fast they develop. So, even though we missed some time, we're slowly getting caught up, but it's just a slow process.
We hear a lot about systems with coaches that come in and there's a new system. When I hear system, I kind of think of opportunity. There's a chance for maybe a kid to fit in to a new system that he wasn't fit for in the past. Are you seeing any kids after conversations with some of the coaches that have been here that you're finding kids that fit what you're trying to do better than maybe they were in before?
Well, you're absolutely right. It's really just everybody's got pretty much the basic offensive, thought process. It's just a different way of doing it. And we've got some kids that, they've been traditionally pass you and I run-oriented team and not as much spread probably. So we've got some kids, maybe some receivers that are going to get a chance to get on the field now maybe that wouldn't have before just because there's not as many of them out there. Mm-hmm. But on the same side, maybe we won't get as many running backs in the game as they had in the past as well. But so it's kind of a trade-off there. But, it's definitely a different system, than what they've had. We've tried not to make it such a drastic change that we're spending more time just trying to develop kids as much as take what we've had and try to work them into some spots. And as coaches, we're all just really thieves. We just steal somebody else's offensive sets anyway. So it's not like you're coming up with anything new at this point. But we've got some kids that are fitting into some roles that maybe not had a lot of playing time in the past that might get some this time. And that creates a little excitement in them, and in turn that creates a backup that's ready to play for him as well. So it's been interesting so far.
It still comes down to blocking and tackling, though. Is this a good, fundamentally sound ball club?
We're getting there. We're working on it. It comes down to blocking and tackling, and we were fairly disappointed in our how tough we were physically, defensively. We didn't feel like we were real aggressive and didn't really tackle very well and attack stuff, and that was one area we knew we had to get better at. And we've done a lot of Oklahoma and things like that. Early since we've had our pads on, try to address that. And kind of the same thing offensively with the line. We've got to get a lot more physical and more aggressive up there. We don't really seem to be super aggressive and finish things. And, a lot of that will come in the off-season through the weight room and some of those things that we'll get better at. But, right now that's just where we're at, and those are the things we got to work on. And, we try to address them every day and get better in those aspects.
What kind of offense do you like to run, and who are some of the players that you're going to be counting on to run it?
Well, we're going to be a pistol spread type of an offense where we can get in two backs at times. We get one back, we can get no back. And, it's going to start obviously with a quarterback. Dylan Griggers right now is ahead at the quarterback spot, and he's going to have to take charge out there for us and really make some plays, running it, throwing it, whatever. At the tailback spot, Mark Riley is going to be our tailback, and Mark runs the ball pretty hard. He's got good speed, pretty good vision, and he may need it early until we learn how to block some things. He may have some real good vision, but he's done a good job picking things up back there, and we're going to try to find ways to get him the ball in a little bit of space and see if he can make something happen. And, of course, out at the receiver position, we got K.J. Smith, who is just a tremendous athlete. And, he's got really good hips and can move and shake a little bit. So we're trying to find ways to get him the football as well. We're going to have to throw it to it, hand it to him, whatever we can do to get it in his hand and let him get some opportunities to make some things happen, because he can be an exciting player. And we've really got to take advantage of that and find ways to get it to him.
How about defense? What do you like to do there, and who's going to help you on that side of the football?
We're primarily a 40 front defense, and we're a fairly aggressive style. We're going to bring some stunts and some things like that. So we like to put pressure on the offense a little bit, and it starts up front with Chad Howard, who's a defensive tackle that's got good strength and speed. And he's going to have to get some penetration up front and create some double teams, and to make some people not be able to get to our linebackers quite so easy. And at our linebacker spot, we've got Sean Green, who's another one that runs really, really well, can get to the football, and a strong kid. And if Chad can do a good job up front, and that'll free him up to run to the football at the second level, we got a chance to at least get to the football a little bit. And then in the secondary back there, Mark Riley's one that's going to play some double duty, and he can cover some ground back there at corner. And we feel like he can make some plays back there. And K.J. Smith will be back there as well as a safety, and he can run pretty well. So, if they do a good job up front, we let them two sit behind all of it and make plays behind. Maybe we can find a way to be competitive on the defensive side.
Perry is on a streak of 3 consecutive winning seasons. A chance for a 4th, which hasn't happened in a long time. I would assume that's part of the reason that you were drawn to the job in the first place. What are the expectations for this year and moving forward down the line?
Well, we definitely we expect to be competitive, right off the rip, and we've got some tough games to start with, but we expect to be competitive in them. And our goal is just to get a little bit better every week, and who knows by the end of the year where you're at. If you can get yourself in a position to make a playoff spot, then once you're in, anything can happen. Especially if you can continue to improve every week and get better as the season goes. You just never know what can happen, and especially when you play as many young kids as we're going to be playing. If they can get some confidence and things like that, who knows, the sky's the limit. But definitely our goal is to get into playoffs and then see what can happen.
You've won consecutive state championships while you were at America's Sumter. Obviously, you know what it takes to have that level of success, not only on the field but with that kind of support in the community. Does Perry have what it takes to get to that level?
Perry's got everything it takes. That we've got great community support. We've got support in the school system. We've got good numbers with kids. It's going to come down to the work ethic and those types of things, and that's what we've got to instill as coaches. Is we've got to get that work ethic and just that mentality, that toughness that it takes to win a state championship. And as soon as we get that developed, then who knows what can happen. But I think everything is in place here to make it happen.